as of August 1st. It's very important in Connecticut Rivers Council to have your Apply Now button turned on. So those two things, update your pins, Apply Now button turned on. Very rarely do I, as a mother outside of scouting right now, fill out a paper form for my child who's 13 to join anything. Scouting's really the only time I fill out a paper form. Everything else he's involved in, I do it online. So we need to catch up quickly, and we're really in a position we can do that now. So make sure that those pins are turned on and our Apply Now status is on. So again, just a real quick look at what your pin should look like. And then if you need help doing that and you don't want to call someone, just go online to scouting.org. There's tons of little 2 to 4 minute tutorials out there now for information. My team at the office in membership growth specifically have been working really hard to just put together little tutorials to help anyone and everyone know how to keep these things accurate and so that everyone knows where to go. It's really simple. So it's a step-by-step tutorial. Check it out. I wanted to just take this opportunity to share real quick some information I have from our research department from last year's joining survey for Cub Scout families. I can't see anyone on this format, but I bet everyone's got a good idea. When Cub Scouts are asked what they're most excited about doing in scouting, you probably have a pretty good idea as to what that answer may be. Both boys and girls say that camping is absolutely their #1 most exciting thing they cannot wait to do in scouting. And our program is built around the outdoor program. So camping is a big one. We can't do that right now, but we can certainly plan for it, and we can do activities that's going to better prepare ourselves for that. Some parts of the country you can camp right now. A lot of the parts, I know that in your area it's a little harder hit, and that isn't really a possibility right now, but it's coming. It's going to be here soon. So camping is important to promote within our recruitment efforts because boys and girls, a lot of folks think, oh, well, the girls will want to do something different. Nope, that's their #1 drive to join scouting as well, to go camping. Some other things that came out of the joining survey, 50% of those that joined brand new in the fall said that they had some sort of conversation with someone in leadership before doing so. And those that did have those conversations had a better joining experience. So, those folks, all of us that love scouting, we know how important it is. We know it works. We are really the best form of promotion. We need to make sure that those in our circle of influence, and with the digital age, our circle of influence is really, really huge. We need to make sure that they know that scouting's there for them to join. So we're here for them. So with that, I'm going to do a little shameless plug also. This person is always there when you go to a sit-down restaurant. He or she is making you feel really good about the choice that you made to eat at that restaurant. They're making you feel happy, welcomed, and comfortable being at the restaurant. So we have those in scouting as well. They're called new member coordinators. If your unit doesn't have one, I would suggest that that's something you focus on right away. New member coordinators are a huge part of how we make families feel welcome joining our program. I've always been in scouting, so it's hard for me to imagine walking into a church basement with 50 uniformed people and not having a clue what they're wearing or why they're talking like that or the terms that they're using. I can't put myself in that position, but we hear from all of our research that it's really overwhelming. So that new member coordinator is really that person to help those families feel at ease and welcomed and happy that they made the choice to come that night. So if you need more information on new member coordinator, go to scouting.org. Loads of information out there on that. School relationships, that's another huge thing to be working on right now. If you have a relationship with your school principal, awesome. That's what we want. If you don't, I would suggest call them right now. Don't ask them for anything if you've never called them before. Just say, hey, hi, how are you doing? Our unit's here to help. Anything that we can do to assist. I know this is a difficult time, but we appreciate you. And just a really simple courtesy call. But if you have great relationships with your schools that you're serving, awesome. Keep that relationship strong. Make sure that you're serving your school communities through scouting. So we talked earlier about all the digital things out there. This doesn't even cover all of them. I know I'm not on all of these things, but I'm on several. So much out there digitally. We just are encouraging everyone during this time where we're all not participating in our normal recruitment activities to go social. Go out there, get yourself, get your unit plugged into as many social networks as possible, the PTO groups, the mom groups, the Nextdoor groups. Nextdoor is really up and coming. There's a lot of talk about how we can get out there on a national level to do some advertising on Nextdoor. I'm personally involved in my Nextdoor, and yeah, there's a lot of, barking dogs or, hey, someone's car alarm's going off. But in between that, there's a lot of really great local advertisement in there. So definitely get clued in with your Nextdoor group. Great way to promote your unit and to invite new families into your unit. Geofencing, this has been around for several years now, but some of it sometimes is still new to folks. Geofence your joining opportunities, whether it's virtual or in person. It's a great way to really target those folks that you want to be targeting that have youth at the age of your unit. And so if you don't know about geofencing, you could Google it, or you could call someone at the office and they're going to know. I know they're real up on the geofencing technique. So some national research about geofencing. Those that geofence their joining opportunities had about 8% more Cub Scouts join than they did the previous year. So this is just one single tool in your toolbox, definitely not the one and only. If you're able, I would still recommend that you do yard signs and stickers and Nextdoor and bulletin boards and all of that, because the more exposure we get, the better. But definitely geofencing is a great tool to have in your toolbox. On the national level, we've been putting a lot of resources into national buyouts for different platforms. So that's definitely something, we push a lot of people to our beascout.org, just if they're Googling, scouts near me or Boy Scout camps near me or something like that. We're putting a lot of money into national campaigns in order to push them to your local units. I want to definitely tell you about the resources on the Membership and Marketing Hub. You can go to scoutingwire.org. Loads and loads of resources there. It's available to anyone and everyone. You don't have to have a special sign-in. There are email templates, there's buddy cards, there's flyers, there's pictures, there's now customizable videos that you can, and a whole procedure on how to customize your own videos. And they'll do that for you in the marketing department at the national office. So definitely check it out if you haven't been on that site. It's just a gold mine of resources. This last year was the #1 downloaded video or picture on the BSA Brand Center. So lots and lots of councils and units were utilizing this one particular picture across the country. And then this one was the second one. So doesn't surprise me, since I have 2 boys and we've been through a lot of rocket launches, that this would be something that would really excite and motivate kiddos to join scouting. So this was the second most downloaded picture. I wanted to just give one quick shout out to a resource coming up soon. This is for virtual recruitment. So I was asked to talk about virtual recruitment, and this can happen in a lot of different ways. But this is a resource coming up soon. It'll be put up on the Membership and Marketing Hub, and it's just a really easy template that PACs can download and input all of their local information into a Zoom meeting. So if they wanted to, do all the tactics to promote their virtual joining opportunity, and this is a template that they could use to hold that meeting. And that's coming soon. All right, real quick, I just want to go through some things that aren't coming from me. They're coming from across the country. Some really cool out of the box type of tactics that folks are using right now in order to overcome obstacles with the pandemic and not being able to get into their schools or communities. We're hearing about people doing drive-through sign up for scouting events at the park or local Kroger's or another just really known area in your community. Just drive through and sign up for scouting. Another one is a neighborhood sign up parade. So the packs are decorating their cars, the kiddos are walking along the cars with flags and such, and they're walking through their neighborhood and promoting scouting. And a lot of times they'll end up at a house or a neighborhood park where they'll sign folks up or they'll send out links to join online. The classroom, invite a friend, like the scout asking a friend to join and making it more like a birthday party invitation. And we're hearing about units in the southern region doing workplace rallies. So parents of scouts and leaders in units are having a workplace get together safely, where they are informing their coworkers about scouting and all the fun that their kiddos have in scouts. And also chartered organizations are helping us out to have rallies in order to promote scouting within their chartered organization. And one last idea was meal distribution promotions. A lot of times schools and other community service organizations will be handing out meals to community members or students at the school, and a lot of times they'll let scouts promote during that time. So that's another kind of out of the box type of idea. If you have ideas, tell someone. We want them. I'll tell you, the great ideas do not come from Irving, Texas. They come from the units and the districts and the councils out there that are really making scouting happen. I'm an assistant scoutmaster and a new member coordinator in my troop, and we've been really trying to think of out of the box ways for our kiddos to get together and just to socialize at this point. You know, they've been stuck in the house, they haven't gotten to go to camp, and they just want to socialize right now. Yeah, advancement is stuck in there a little bit at a time, but we need those ideas because together we're going to really overcome all of these obstacles, and scouting is going to benefit, be even stronger for it. With that, I want to say thank you. Hopefully I didn't go over my time.
Amy, no, never. You could never go over your time. Really, I want to thank you for joining us, and thank you for all that you've done for scouting, both in Connecticut Rivers Council and across the country. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you. And I have been told, I'm going to give Kevin just a minute to switch.
Amy, you want to turn off your screen share for me?
So anyways, there goes screen share. I'm going to back up. So with that, I believe that Mr. Stephen Smith has joined us. Yes, there he is, front and center on my page. And I'd like to welcome our council executive, Mr. Stephen Smith, and let him have a moment to share with you his thoughts.
Well, gosh, good afternoon, and thanks for having me on. All kinds of technical issues today, and we're just going to work our way through it. So I just wanted to tell you, gosh, what a great month it's been. This month I did my first drive-by Eagle Court of Honor down in Old Lyme for Scout Alex. And I've just been incredibly amazed at the ingenuity of our leaders as they do all these special things to recognize our scouts for all the work that they've done. The Eagle Court of Honor down in Old Lyme, it was a drive-by. The fire department was there in all their glory. The people that he did their project for were there, and they presented his Eagle badge, and everybody drove by and honked their horns and rang their sirens. It was just really a neat court of honor to go to. And I've seen crossovers for Arrow of Lights where the pack has been on one side of a parking lot and the boy walks across the parking lot with his parents and joins the scout troop on the other side. How neat was that, and how memorable for the kids as they go through their lives to remember back to the days when they had a really special bridging ceremony or a real special Eagle Court of Honor. It'll be something they'll remember their entire lifetime. And I really want to thank our leaders for going that extra mile to make it special, to do something really unique for our kids to remember for their lifetimes. And that's just been a neat thing to see what our volunteers have stepped up to do. I also want to do a shout out to, there's a group in the council that not many people know that even exists. There's a group called the Risk Management Group, the Enterprise Risk Management. Their name changes a little bit, but it's a group of doctors and lawyers and insurance experts and engineers and architects that they spend a lot of time talking about how to make sure scouting is safe for our kids. And I will tell you, in the last year, I have used that committee more than I probably used it in my entire career when we were dealing with the COVID and when we were dealing with the virus last fall, when we were looking at different types of inclines and exits of camps and handicap accessibility and things like that. This group is really the group that does a lot of advice and counsel to the leadership of the council and the board of what we should and shouldn't be doing. And I really want to reach out to Chair Al Roulier and the rest of the group that's there. It's just really made a difference to make and provide a better program for our kids. One of the other things I really am proud of is the Camp Kinda Like a staff. I mean, Jeremy and his team out there and the guys on our team that have been working with them and the technology and everything that's come into place to make Camp Kinda Like a go. To date, we've had over 800 kids in that program from 29 states and 58 councils. Now, if it was a bad program, you wouldn't have that many people signing up. So that means we got a great program and they're really doing it and they're delivering the promise. And that's what scouting's all about, is delivering the promise that we've made to these kids. And I'm just really proud of that and what they've done. And our 4 district chairs, we brought the new districts together at the end of May, was the official kickoff at the annual meeting. And now we're just entering July and all the positions on the district committee are filled and they're moving forward. And it's just like nothing ever happened, like there was never a pandemic or anything. They just have been moving it forward. And guys, I can't thank you all enough, guys and gals. We've got a number of female district commissioners out there now and chairs, and it's just been really great to see the way you've marshaled the troops together to make it work for our kids. Now, there are some things that we do need to worry about as we're looking that this pandemic's not going to go away anytime soon. In all likelihood, life in our council probably won't get back to normal until well into the next year, 2021. So we're all stepping up and doing a little more, and we really, really appreciate that. I do want to let you know the office is reopened today, and we'll be doing some modified hours. Rather than being open from 9 to 5 like we have in the past, we're going to be opening from 10 to 5. And then the store will be it'll be open from 10 to 5, Tuesday through Fridays. On Saturday, we'll be open from 10 to 2. And Mondays, we will be closed. We'll be closed to the public. We'll be open and working, but we'll be closed to the public on that day. We will be taking phone calls. We just won't be taking guests as we go through. The other thing is when you come into the office, you have to wear a mask. That's not optional. It's not anything we're going to debate about. If your health is of a concern that you can't wear a mask, you shouldn't be in our office. And that's going to be as straight up as we can get. If you're in the office, you're wearing a mask, or you don't come to the office. And we're not trying to be punitive, but we want everybody to be and have a safe experience, and that's the way it's going to be. Um, some other things that are going on that I really wanted to share. Um, After the last roundtable, we were talking about some of the things going on and some of the things we may not be able to do. I was thrilled with the number of calls and emails and voicemails of support for the team to get through this time and asking what we could do to help or what they could do to help. And there's a few things. There's some things in the fall that will truly help out, of helping make copies for like school night flyers and things like that. And there's just other things that units need help with, that we're going to start a web page or a page on our website listing some things that we could use some volunteer help for, not just the council, for units too. So if you need a little help on something, please let us know so we can get it up. And if we can get it on the site for you, we'll be more than happy to try to help accommodate your needs also. One of the things we really need, and it's just not an easy one, and it's one that it's tough. We need all of our units to sell popcorn. And I know there's a number that have gone, no, we don't want to sell popcorn for this reason, that reason. The popcorn sale has changed dramatically. It's gone almost exclusively to an app where the kids can send a link to relatives and friends, and they can order their popcorn. They can pay for it on the app or on the link. The scout will get credit for it. The money will go directly to them, and the popcorn will be sent directly to that person. So there's no delivery. There's no anything beyond taking that initial order. And for the council, that's a huge profit center, that as we look at going into the fall and the decline of donations and revenue, that popcorn sale is one of those that we truly could use your help. And we really would like all of you to please ask your scouts to take this one on this year and just pass the app around to the relatives and the friends to buy a box or two or three, and it'll be delivered directly from our popcorn vendor to their home, so you don't have to do the follow-up or go back out on the street or stand in front of stores, which we're finding out a lot of them are not going to allow us to do this year. So we really would appreciate you taking that one on and finding a way in your heart to make the popcorn sale go again this year, so we can start heading into the spring of 2021 on a good financial position as we go through. So please take a moment and think that one through. If you could help us out this year, we'd really appreciate it. Last thing I'd like to visit with you about is, please take a minute, and as you're visiting with your friends and relatives and acquaintances about what's going on and scouting comes up, or bring it up, please talk about some of the good things that we're doing. There's some attorneys out there that are doing a really good job about advertising things that happened in the scouting program in the 60s and 70s and 50s, but they're not really good at talking about what's happened in scouting in the 80s and 90s and 2000s and 2010s. They really like to dwell on what happened 40 years ago, and that's not scouting of today. And take a minute and talk about a lot of the things, the barriers that are there to protect our kids, that keep our kids safe and keep them protected, and why you're in scouting and what the benefits are of scouting. Please pass that word. We're going to have a whole lot of negative press coming out in the next few months, and it really would be appreciated to stand up and explain to people why you're involved in scouting. I know you wouldn't have your kids in scouts if it wouldn't be a safe program, and we're going to be very much portrayed as a group that doesn't care about kids and do our best to make horrible people um, hide them or cover them or whatever. And it's just nothing could be farther from the truth. So please, if you have the opportunity, set the record straight and pass the word that scouting is okay and scouting is open for business. Thank you all. Have a great night.
Let me try that again. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Oh Lord. Hey, I just learned about this new thing called a computer. It just came out. But anyways, thank you very much, Mr. Smith. It's great hearing about the Eagle Court of Honor. My son and my family are planning one upcoming. We received news that he was certified from the, I'll tell you, certified, from the National Council. So we're planning an Eagle Court of Honor ourselves right now. So it's an interesting challenge to have.
Well, congratulations, Dad.
Thank you very much. My drive is for five Eagles in the house, 3 boys, 1 girl, and myself.
Oh, cool.
That would be nice. So, but hey, where am I going? Mr. McClellan now, speaking about popcorn, Mr. McClellan, our council colonel, more or less, or his professional advisor for it, has some wonderful things to share, and he's going to hit about 1,000 points of light right now. So,
Chip, that was the nicest thing you've called me all day, so I really appreciate that. Let me see if I can spotlight my own video. It doesn't look like it. Maybe I'll pop up. Good evening, everybody. Let me first say thanks to Amy Hutcherson for joining us. Amy hears from me far more than she absolutely wants to or probably should, but we appreciate her support. A couple of things I wanted to mention that are membership related before I dive into the popcorn piece. One of which is Be a Scout pins. Amy talked a lot about what that looks like and how we can manipulate the information on those pins so that they're accurate. I've been sending out emails to unit key 3s and packs and troops, your unit key 3 being your unit leader, committee chair, and charter rep. Those are the folks who automatically have access to update the Be a Scout pin information. So the included in there is what your pin looks like right now, as well as some samples so you can see what some other great pins look like. And ultimately, it's your pin. So you can put as much or as little information on there as you'd like. I would encourage you to put as much information as you can. But either way, it's your pin. There are instructions in there on how to do it. But if you're running into any trouble, you need some help, shoot me an email. And I'm going to ask my good friend Sean Fogel if he could put my email address into the chat comments on Facebook. Please feel free to reach out. If there's anything I can do to help you, if we want to schedule 5 minutes on Zoom so we can go through and update it together, I'd be glad to do that. So just fire me over an email and we'll make that happen. Second thing, we had a couple of questions in the chat on Facebook about online applications and the ubiquitous Join Now button that Amy mentioned. So the Join Now button will go live, that functionality for us, on August 1st. You can set it to turn on now. It's going to mess up a little bit on the fees, but the fees will be accurate as of August 1st. So that's when we're going to encourage you to go through and do that to make those updates so that you can take the online applications. Now you may be saying, what are you talking about? What are these online applications? Watch out. I'm going to send you an email in the middle of this week, again, to the unit key 3s. So if I could ask the unit key 3, pass it on to the person in your unit or the people who are handling the registration process for you. This is a way for adults and youth to submit their application 100% online. Then the unit leader for youth or the charter rep for adults goes in and approves them through my.scouting. No paper. They can pay their fee online and it just goes straight into the system. So no intervention on our part either. So it should clean up a lot of some of those issues that we've had in the past and give people a really simple way to join. Last thing I'll mention about membership is we're going to ask all of you via these emails and the different discussions we're having to plan for both the virtual and in-person events. In-person events, I don't know what September is going to look like. And I don't think anybody else does either. We're going to take this as it comes, but I think it's worthwhile for us to prepare for both eventualities. So if we're ready for an in-person and we're ready for virtual and we're able to do both, all the better. One other tenet of our membership plan this year is that we're going to have some council-wide virtual joining opportunities. So we're going to conduct that as the council membership committee and drive everybody who can participate onto beascout.org to join your local unit. So that's part of why your PIN, having that up to date with the best information. What night does your unit meet? How do we get in touch with you? Who's the best contact? That way people can go on, can make their decision online and join your unit all in one shot through the Be a Scout platform. So that's beascout.org. Again, if you have any questions at all, shoot me an email at kevin.mcclelland@scouting.org. And I think Sean put that in the Facebook chat, or he will. So reach out and let me know how I can help you. Sean is our other field director. Sean and I talk about 53 times a day, and only about 25 of those times are making fun of each other. So we're in lockstep. If there's something that either of us can do to help you, don't feel like you have to talk to me if it's West Side, or you have to talk to Sean if it's East Side. We're here to help you. So there you go, Chip. Thank you, buddy. So with that, now let me change gears over to popcorn. I'm pretty excited about the popcorn sale this year, mostly because it's going to look different. And I've been working on popcorn sales now for almost 15 years, and this is the first time it's really going to be different. So that is presenting some exciting challenges that I'm kind of excited to work on and try to overcome. The first step that we need everybody to do is sign up for the sale. You can do that at trails-end.com. Up along the top, there's a spot to click leaders, and then from there you can sign up your unit. Again, you have any questions about how that works, kevin.mcclelland@scouting.org. And I'll be glad to help you with that. So once you get signed up, now you're going to say, well, where do I get my stuff? How do I learn more about popcorn? Well, let me tell you all about that. So we're doing 2 virtual kickoffs in the month of July. One is going to be July 15th. That's a Wednesday at 7 p.m. The second one will be July 25th. That is a Saturday, and that is at 9 a.m. And so attending that, number one, is going to give you all kinds of great information about sale dates and how this whole thing's going to work. But it's also going to give your unit a 5% bonus commission just for participating in that. So we've simplified the commission this year, but the maximum is still 41%, just like it was last year. But you only have to do 2 things to maximize your commission. Come to training on July 15th or July 25th, and then pay your bill on time. Once you do that, you get 41% of the sale. The sales online will mimic that. So if you get 41% for the in-person sales, you're going to get 41% online as well. A couple things about popcorn. Is the sale going to be different this year? We know it is. Of course it is. But we're adjusting the timelines to hopefully accommodate that. Again, we don't know what September is going to look like, but we have pushed show and sell further back into September in hopes that with time, some of the reopening plans will come to fruition and we'll be able to get back in front of the stores. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we're going to do our best to make it happen. If it doesn't, we have lots of other ways to sell popcorn. Online, there's a concept called online direct, and the take orders like years past where you go door to door and scouts make their sales. Those are all going to happen at the parent's discretion. So if you're not comfortable with the scout going out door to door, I understand. Online is still a viable option for you, and Trails End has a great product spread that we're going to work with them on. So with that, again, email address kevin.mcclelland, MCCLELLAND @scouting.org. Look forward to hearing from you. Chip, back to you.
I was truly going to say that you've got a face for radio, but you're better looking than I am. So thanks, Kevin. One of the things that I want to mention about the Be a Scout pin is if I can update the Be a Scout pin, anybody can update a Be a Scout pin. And I've managed to do it, so can you. Thank you for all the information about popcorn. Thank you for assisting me, well, actually putting on the roundtable for me. With that, Mr. Smith mentioned the Camp Kinda Like a staff and directors. They've been doing a great job getting a program out to the scouts. It's very important that we continue to maintain a program. But when this is all over and done, Scout Camp will be back. And tonight we have 3 very special guests from our Scout Camps to kind of share with us what they envision happening after September. So with that, I've got on my list first, I've got Lou Sizer, the extremely well tenured director of Camp Werkomen. Mr. Sizer, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for asking me to be here. That's a very polite way to say that I'm old.
You said it, not me. But hey, I can remember. I remember the days of yore. So thank you for joining.
Well, as you said, things are going to be happening here at the various camps, and at Werkomen, we have a few things scheduled for the fall. We're excited to offer a wide range of activities at Werkomen this fall for Cub Scouts, for Scouts BSA, and for the entire family. First of all, these programs, the first program will be the Werkomen Fall Adventure, and it'll be taking place on September 11th to the 13th. And here Scouts can attend with their unit, or as a provisional scout, or with their family. And there'll be a wide list of merit badges for Scouts BSA, Cub Scout activity badges, and activities designed for Scouts of any age. Scouts will pre-register for their activities and will be given a list of any requirements that must be completed outside of camp to earn that completion. Next, during the weekend of September 18th to the 20th, we are going to be having the Webelos Woods program returning to Werkomen again. Scouts with an adult partner will pre-sign up for the badges in advance and they will receive top-notch instruction throughout the weekend. This is always a big hit, and it'll help Scouts complete the requirements for Webelos and the Arrow of Light Awards. It's been a popular event in the past, so please be sure to sign up early because it's guaranteed to sell out. And lastly, we will be holding a Trail to Eagle weekend on October 23rd to the 25th. This weekend will feature many of the Eagle required badges with the prerequisites addressed in advance, along with sessions related to the youth leadership requirement to be an Eagle Scout, and planning and conducting the Eagle Scout Service Project. Now remember, each one of these events will feature tent camping, a grab and go style of meals served out of our dining hall, and that can be modified to meet any health guidelines that must be met to keep everyone safe. So soon you'll be able to get additional information on ctscouting.org and also campwerkomen.org. So we look forward to seeing our camps busy as they should be, and everyone should stay safe. Thanks.
Thanks, Lou. Truly appreciate it. Next up, we've got the Camp Manitouk director, Mr. Jeremy Nelson. Jeremy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Chip. Can you hear me, Chip?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Just making sure. So I wanted to take just a moment to echo some of what David Lee said, as well as Stephen Smith said earlier about growing the program. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about some of the accomplishments of the staff that's running our current virtual camp that Stephen did mention. As he said, we have over 800 scouts in it right now, representing 58 different councils in 29 different states, including the District of Columbia. So with that being said, and coming up in the next 2 weeks are some very special specialty weeks featuring our roundtable chair there, Mr. Chip Goss, who is running a couple specialty weeks for us. And these specialty weeks and the Camp Kinda Like a staff are staff members from across the council that have come together to put this together, as well as some from even our partner councils. So it really is a council unifying activity that's happening, and there's opportunities for scouts from all over to meet different kids, scouts, and scouters from across the country. So I'd encourage everyone to take a look at it. Email myself or Michael Brown for any information on Camp Kinda Like a. And then looking forward and growing programs into our fall programs that we're offering at Camp Manitouk. So the Camp Manitouk programs are going to run for 6 different weekend sessions. We're encouraging people to sign up for 2 sessions, one in September and one in October. Our goal in doing this was to mimic as best as possible the summer camp experience that we're all missing. Scouts are able to come as a unit or as provisional, and they can participate in merit badges as well as morning programs, different activities in all the departments that you would know in any of your scouting programs, whether it's STEM, Scoutcraft, nature, waterfront activities will be happening as well. So they'll have afternoon merit badges, morning programs that they can attend, as well as what Lou was saying at Camp Work-Holman. We'll be offering all the meals throughout those weeks for the scouts and scouters that are able to attend those throughout those weekends. We're also offering, in conjunction with those, day camp availability for Scouts BSA as well as Cub Scouts. So those programs span both Scouts BSA and Cub Scouts activities, and they're offered both as a day camp and overnight options for those weekends. So when it does come out on the scouting, on the council's webpage, be sure to check it out there, and you'll get all your information and the ability to sign up. If you do have any other questions about the fall camp experience or Camp Kainalika, just send me an email at jeremy.nelson@scouting.org. I'd be happy to answer those for you. Thanks, Chip.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's great seeing you, well, even if it is over the video. So with that, here's another stranger I haven't seen in a couple of weeks. The now full-time ranger of June Norcross Webster, longtime scouting I should say staff for June Norcross Webster, filling in for our illustrious Mr. Patrick Stanley Boyd, who is on yet another call. Ranger Austin.
Yes, thank you, Chip, for having me. I have big shoes to fill with Pat not being here, and I'm being serious. The man has very big feet. First, I want to introduce myself like Chip did. I took over as the full-time ranger last month here at camp. I moved in. I will certainly say that camp is different with not everybody here. I can work by myself and hear myself from one side of the property to the other, which not necessarily is a good feeling. So hopefully in the near future, our trails will be hiked and everything. Couple of the events that we have planned for this fall and the winter as well. Columbus Day weekend, we're scheduled for the Autumn Adventure Camp. This is being held Friday night to Monday at noon. Offering during this is merit badges, scout skills, troop activities. It's going to have a Star Life roundup. This event will be signed up, offered as units and or provisional. If a Scouts unit does not choose to attend, we will be running a provisional unit during this time, this weekend. A full meal service in the dining hall and or meals will be provided in any way, fashion that is acceptable to the local health department and state health department. We will monitor that and plan accordingly to that. But this is the fee includes the merit badges, the program, the facility, and meal service. A second thing is we're launching the Outdoor Experience Center, which is going to be a program, and we're going to have the website up shortly, that units can choose different treks using camp staff here, camp equipment. Some of the activities will be on site, some of them will be off. Some of them include hiking on the Natchog Trail, guided with staff, canoeing down a couple of rivers, and stuff like that. Going to Wolf Rock and other climbing things, climbing places to do off-site trips. Next spring, we have maple syrup production weekend, which is going to be excited. We're going to tap the trees, make some maple syrup, and each kid will be able to go home with some. As well, also winter resident camp. It's going to be from December 27th to the 30th. Offered here is going to be merit badges, snow sports. It's going to be cabin camping, and we're going to have inter-cabin competitions, which will be cool. It's not traditional to us, but it's going to become traditional. And like I said, that's all I have. So just to recap, Columbus Day weekend, Autumn Adventure Camp. We're going to do the Outdoor Experience Center, which is going to be offered later, probably in the fall, and certainly in the spring. Winter camp, December 27th to the 30th. And we're also going to be doing Polar Cubs, which is going to be a day camp event on one weekend a month through the off season. Basically day camp for Cub Scouts doing various activities. So that's all I have. Back to you.
Thanks, Austin. Hey, thanks for mentioning Star Life Roundup. Star Life Roundup is a weekend for exactly that, Star and Life Scouts, including First Class Scouts who are looking for that little extra push for Eagle Scout. It's a wonderful program. I've been running it for the last 4 years. I've had nearly over 100 scouts go through it. It's got a really great success rate for those Eagle Scout or those scouts who are working towards their Eagle Scout. It really digs deep into the form and function, how to plan a project, how to lead. And it really doesn't cover the merit badges, but it gives you a good sense of how to plan, how to goal set. And we actually do cover the goal setting segment. In case you're also a venturing scout, you receive credit for the goal setting and time management leadership program for that. So thank you, all three directors of the camps. Now it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce two gentlemen who have the extreme deep responsibility to discuss the National Scout Jamboree, which is coming up next year in 2021. I just want to tell you, personally speaking, I've attended 2 National Jamborees as a scout, and I visited 3 more National Jamborees. These are events that occur every 4 years. And if you want to talk about a life-changing event, your scout needs to go to a National Scout Jamboree. With that being said, I've got Mr. Ken Lee and Mr. Peter Sedaris here to talk about the National Scout Jamboree next year. I don't know who's going to speak first, so I'm just going to put it on mute and let you guys fight out.
Sure.
Great.
We actually have a surprise. There's a third, Alicia Kennerson.
Yes, our
Sorry,
leader is here as well. So yeah, we've got, we've already started meeting as a group of leaders for the National Jamboree, which is scheduled for July 21st through the 30th of 2021. And Connecticut Rivers has allocated 2 troops, 1 girl troop and 1 boy troop, to go down to the Jamboree for 2021. And signups have started. So people who are interested in going to the Jamboree, signups are now taking place. You can sign up at the Connecticut Rivers Council website, ctscouting.org, as well as the National BSA National Jamboree Scout, which is also, you do need to sign up in both locations. So with that, I think we've got, and each troop has 36 participants. So we're looking at right now, the council has committed to 36 boy going down and 36 female scouts going down. So it is somewhat limited. We had more troops go down in the past, but we're being a little more conservative this year. So, those spots should fill up quickly. So I strongly urge you, if you're contemplating going to the Jamboree, which, like Chip said, is a life-changing experience, one that you'll remember for the rest of your life, you should definitely sign up as soon as possible to get your name on the list so that you can be one of the 36 male or female scouts going down to the National Jamboree. That's all I have, Pete. And I think Pete has a little slideshow presentation to walk you through. Thank you very much for listening.
Sure. Thank you. Alicia, do you want to take slide 2?
Sure, I'll do that. Good evening, and thank you again for inviting us here to provide some information about the Jamboree. And in case you didn't know, the National Scout Jamboree is a gathering of tens of thousands of scouts, leaders, and Jamboree service team members that showcases everything that is great about the Boy Scouts of America. Over the course of 10 summer days, once every 4 years, the Boy Scouts of America gathers together. Scouts and Scouters who attend will explore all kinds of adventures, stadium shows, Pioneer Village, Mount Jack hikes, adventure sports, and more in the heart of one of nature's greatest playgrounds. And this picture you're looking at right now is from the 2017 National Jamboree, getting ready for a stadium show. On to you, Peter.
The Jamboree happens at the Summit Bechtel Reserve in West Virginia from July 21st to July 30th, 2021. It is open to registered boys and girls ages 12 by the first day of the Jamboree or haven't reached 18 by the last day. As guidelines, scouts should be first class, have attended at least 1 week of summer camp in the past. And for those closer to the lower end of the age requirement, their unit leader will be asked to vouch for their maturity. Ken, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I've been fortunate to be selected this year as the Connecticut Rivers Council Chairman for the 2021 PSA National Jamboree, and I'm so pleased to be working with a great group of Scoutmasters and leaders who are going to be taking our youth to the Jamboree. And having been to 4 Jamborees in the past, I can only attest that it is a life-changing experience, and one that the youth will remember for the rest of their life. So I strongly recommend, again, if you're interested in going down, that you start to sign up as soon as you can so that you can reserve one of those spots for your scout.
Sure. Alicia?
So again, my name's Alicia Kennerson. I'm the committee chair for Scouts BSA Troop 2019 and Assistant Scoutmaster for Scouts BSA Troop 19, both based in New Hartford. I am also the Scoutmaster for the girls contingent for the 2021 National Scout Jamboree. I'm very excited to be returning to the Summit Bechtel Reserve, having served in a staff position at the trading post during the 2017 National Jamboree. And it's an honor to be leading the girls contingent at the next Jamboree. I'm super excited to be back there again.
Thank you. I'm Peter Sedaris. I'm the Scoutmaster for Boy Scout Troop 28 in Morris, Connecticut. Some of you may know me as the guy that sits at the trading post at Camp Mattituck during week 3 and asks his scouts to tuck in their shirts as they walk by. I've been selected to be the Scoutmaster for the boys contingent, and I'm very excited to have the opportunity to lead the boys contingent to the National Jamboree. We also wanted to give you a roundup of our other leaders in our both the boys and girls contingent. I'm sure some familiar names from both sides of the state.
And also, our girls contingent still has an open leader spot. This can either be filled by an adult or preferably by a youth that is close to aging out of the program. If you know anyone, we want to hear about them. The event is also looking for adults to fill the staff opportunities at the Jamboree. There's tons of opportunities to be a part of the Jamboree. Like I said, I worked at the trading post and I had such a great experience there. It was wonderful.
Okay. I'm actually going to stop sharing and reshare because I forgot to share my audio when I did, because we have a short video we want to show. And I'll wait for you people to see my screen.
If you like having fun, and if you like adventure and trying new things, the Jamboree is the best place to do it.
Go hard! Go hard! Yeah! Fighting through the fear, the blood, the sweat, and the tears. Go hard! Go hard! Pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking.
If you're deciding to come to the Jamboree, it's awesome.
You get to do stuff like this. It is such a great experience for anyone who wants to get outside and do stuff.
Everybody seems to come off smiling out there like, yeah, this is awesome.
If you're coming to Jamboree and you want high up in the air, fun, while testing yourself, go to the ropes course.
If you're going to come to the Jamboree, I recommend the skate park 100%.
If you have the opportunity to go to 2021 Jamboree, definitely go. It's the chance of a lifetime.
Go hard! hard. Yeah, fighting through the fear, the blood, the sweat, and the tears. Go hard, go hard. Pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hard, go hard. Yeah, fighting through the fear, the blood, the sweat, and the tears. Go hard, go hard. Pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hard, go hard. Pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking. Go hard.
And last but not least, if you have questions, you can email us at crcjamboree or crcjambo2021@gmail.com. We're also planning on doing recruiting visits either virtually or in person, if it works out that way, with your units towards the later part of the summer. So we'll be reaching out to you via email. Thank you, Chip.
There we go. Thank you very much for that inspiring presentation on the National Scout Jamboree. It is definitely worth the time. You guys should definitely check it out. Right quick, before I draw this to a close, this roundtable, because we're nearing my time, I would like to share something that I spent some time this last weekend. I did a national conference call, and they pointed out Scouting Wire. Amy mentioned Scouting Wire earlier. The website here is scoutingwire.org. This is an amazing website. Everything you need is here. There's scouting.org. There's scoutingwire.org. Amy mentioned the marketing, the brand center. Every BSA approved logo, PNG, PNG image, everything that they have approved is available through this brand center. You can go in, you just have to agree to allow cookies, log in, and all the logos and images, videos, everything you need is here, and it's probably going to take an hour to load because I'm sharing it with 1,100 people. Here it is. Every program that the BSA has, you can go in and you can find an image that you need, everything that you need from billboards, email templates, flyers, peer-to-peer cards, invitations, we like to call them. The biggest way to get membership to your unit is the invite. You have to ask. If you do not make an ask, you can send out 1,000 flyers to schools. If a scout does not ask another child, hey, why don't you come check out scouting with me? It's not going to work as good as it should. The last thing I wanted to show here was the the marketing and membership. To help us grow scouting this year, because it is a tough year, there are all sorts of apps and programs for you guys to access and utilize. They're all right here on Scouting Wire. If you guys want to learn more and do more, there are some webinars that you can sign up for. This is an awesome tool. I've done one a week for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I really cannot recommend it high enough. Please, please, please check out scoutingwire.org. It is an invaluable resource to grow, maintain your unit. So I really want you guys to check scoutingwire.org. With that, I've got Kevin McClellan apparently has some questions to cover. So, Kevin, over to you.
The first thing I'd like to do, Chip, is give credit where credit is due. You all might have heard that really inspiring song during the Jamboree video. That's called Go Hard. That was written and performed by Chip Goss, our very own Chip. So congratulations, Chip. You've been featured on a national video, and I think that's fantastic. I would like to give a shout out to Sean Fogel, who has been very active on Facebook on that feed answering questions. The one question that keeps coming up, Chip, that he has not been able to answer is, what's your favorite color?
Actually, my favorite color is yellow.
Well, fantastic. And to everybody on Facebook, we're really glad that we could share that information with you. Back to you, Chip.
Well, thanks, Kevin. I really appreciate that minute of my life that I'm never going to get back. With that being said, we are coming out, hopefully, of a tunnel that has constricted everything that we do. We have been troopers. We have helped provide, and we continue to help provide thousands of scouts in Connecticut and beyond with program and values that this program has offered for 110 years. With your hard work and dedication, we can continue this organization well beyond the 110 years in the future. It's just going to take hard work and effort to maintain it. So I would like to keep you guys, if there's anything I can do to help you stay motivated in this endeavor, please reach out to me, bigchefchip@yahoo.com. And I will do everything in my power that I can. With that being said, thank you very much for taking yet another Monday night out of your busy schedule to hopefully garner some useful information. Go forth and scout on.